You know, if you listen to all the albums, you'll be able to listen to something and say, that sounds like Zeppelin, because it's a sound, you know.
Yeah.
But in actual fact, each album is very different. And I thought 3 was especially different from 1 and 2, which were basically very heavy sort of music. And there's a lot of acoustic stuff on 3. There's two tracks with acoustic.
Yeah.
Going to California, that's mandolin again, and acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
You know, we do the songs that we were writing at that particular time, so the next one will probably be different still, you know.
Yeah.
The Beatles ran for 8 years, and when one thinks of a song of theirs, Yesterday, which had all sorts of variations played upon it, do you think as musicians you'll be able to last as long as 8 years? Do you think you'll be inventive enough? You know, the old thing about being able to whistle the tune, being able to hum the tune as you go away, I don't think I could hum any of your stuff.
No, but I think it's changing. That's the main thing, you see. I think that's why the awards have changed, because the kids are changing for a start. And so is the music changing. And I think, well, there's already a single out of Whole Lot of Love, an orchestra playing it, which is quite interesting, really. The flute plays what the lead vocal would do.
So you're saying that your fans don't necessarily want to whistle the tunes, to hum the tune. But they're much more sophisticated than, you know, my generation.
I think so. Not in that sense. I think these days that let's say the public, you know, it's not just say the kids, because we've had sort of all sorts of people at concerts, you know. I think that they're coming to listen to what you're playing and not just to look at you and see what you are. I mean, I remember when let's go back a few years, when I first went to see the Beatles, because we've mentioned them a few times, it was to look at them, you know. It wasn't, you didn't really bother what you were listening to.
Yes.
And today, it's not what you are, it's what you're playing. And
well, this is interesting.
In Oakland, a nasty scene erupted backstage between Zeppelin's entourage and one of promoter Bill Graham's people. Peter Grant's son was slapped by a security guard for attempting to remove a dressing room sign. When Grant heard that his son had been hit, he had Graham's employee brought back to his trailer. By the time Grant and Bonzo were through, the trailer was awash with blood. Graham called the cops. Bonham and Grant were charged with assault and led away to jail.
In California in 1977, Grant, John Bonham and 2 Zeppelin roadies were arrested after a security man had been beaten up.
Sometimes they would all get out of hand, and sometimes Peter got out of hand too, and they had an altercation in San Francisco involving Bill Graham, which was unfortunate.
do probably the only interview of John Bonham ever done. Mind you, when you see it, you'll probably realise why it's the only one ever done. The best rock and roll drummer on earth. Would you agree with that?
No, not really.
John, we've been watching that bit film there, and you do some really exotic... It must have taken you years to learn to play like that, did it?
Not really.
Yeah. Gee, the nights are drawing in now, eh? In the film there, I noticed your son's a pretty heavy drummer. Is he better than you?
Could be.
On that cheery note, ladies and gentlemen.
The service was at the tiny 13th century parish church at Cutnall Green near Kidderminster, less than a mile from the Star's luxury farm home. But it was a million miles from the industry that made and perhaps destroyed him. Apart from the other members of the band, Jimmy Page, Robert Plant and John Paul Jones, it was just family and friends who packed the church for the quarter-hour service. There were, though, the tributes from John's contemporaries, this giant wreath from Paul McCartney and Wings. Another inside the church was from his parents. It read, Superstar, but to us, just son. Although the time and place had been closely guarded, some fans were there too.
Good morning. Could I just interrupt you all? Why are you here this morning?
Pay our respects to them.
Where are you all from?
Birmingham, Droitwich.
Droitwich. You come down just to pay your last respects here this morning?
Yeah.
What did the news of John's death mean to you all?
Very tragic.
Great loss, I suppose.
Do you think that Led Zeppelin can go on now?
Won't be
Well,
the
they
same.
could, but they just wouldn't be the same again.
I
would
don't
they?
think they will. No. Just no one can replace Bonham.
He was just an individual.
Before your dad died, did he teach you how to play drums? Was he your teacher?
He was the guy that would, and it's funny, I got to work with Bill Collins a few years ago, right at the beginning of us working together, and I told him a funny story because Phil loved my dad, and he said he saw him before he was in Zeppelin, and he said, I said, well, when you'd released Duke and the Turn It On Again came out, and you just beat my dad in the Melody Maker Drum Awards poll. So he got me to learn Turn It On Again by Genesis as a 12-year-old kid.
Right.
So I'm 12 and he's on the drum kit and he's put it on the jukebox and ding, 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 ding. So I'm playing along with it. So I do it about 3 times. He goes, do it again. About third time he went, got it. He goes, I don't know what the big fuss is about. My 12-year-old boy can play that song.